Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Kính bạch thầy, kính thưa toàn thể đại chúng. Sáng hôm nay mình sẽ thực tập ngồi thiền trước khi mình bắt đầu lễ Hằng Tuần. Giờ đây kính mời đại chúng mình có thể dùng lên hàng để mình có đủ chỗ cho người đến sau. Và vì nào có cell phone, xin hoan hỷ tắt cell phone. Giờ đây kính mời đại chúng mình tìm cho mình một tư thế ngồi cho dễ chịu. Giữ lưng vừa thẳng, thả lỏng hai vai. Mắt của mình có thể nhắm mắt lại, miệng khép lại và mỉm cười nhẹ và buông thư toàn thân. Dear respected Thai, dear noble community, this morning we'll be practicing sitting meditation before we begin our Sunday service. Please try to fill up the very first row or the second row so that we have enough space for those who are coming later. If you have a cell phone, please make sure you've turned off your cell phone. Find yourself a comfortable posture. Make sure your back is upright, your shoulders relax. You can close your eyes. Your hands can be placed on your lap or on your knees. Keep a light smile on your face. And relax your whole body. Sau khi chúng ta chỉnh tư thế xong, bây giờ chúng ta chú tâm về hơi thở. Để ý những hơi thở ra vào. Khi mình thở vào, mình nhận biết đây là hơi thở vào. Khi mình thở ra, mình nhận biết đây là hơi thở ra. Vào, ra. Mình thở tự nhiên, mình không cần dồn ép hơi thở. Once you establish your posture, bring all your attention to your breathing. Become aware of your in-breath as you breathe in, and become aware of your out-breath as you breathe out. In, out. There's no need to control or force your breathing. Breathe naturally. Mình sẽ bắt đầu buổi ngồi thiền bằng 3 tiếng chuông. We'll begin our session with 3 sounds of the bell. Thở vào. Tôi biết tôi đang thở vào. Thở ra. Tôi biết tôi đang thở ra. Vào. Ra. Breathing in. I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out. I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In. Out. Thở vào. Hơi thở vào càng sâu. Thở ra. Hơi thở ra càng chậm. Sâu. Chậm. Breathing in. My in-breath grows deep. Breathing out. My out-breath goes slowly. Deep. Slow. Thở vào. Tâm tĩnh lặng. Thở ra. Miệng mỉm cười. Tĩnh lặng. Mỉm cười. Breathing in. My mind is calm. Breathing out. I smile. Calm. Smiling. Thở vào an trú trong hiện tại. Thở ra giây phút đẹp tuyệt vời. Hiện tại tuyệt vời. Dwelling in the present moment, I breathe in. Breathing out, I know that this is a wonderful moment. Present moment, wonderful moment. Mời đại chúng xả chân, massage up. Please take some time to release and massage your legs. Và xin nhắc nhở vị nào có cell phone xin nhớ tắt cell phone hoặc chuyển qua chế độ room để mới dự buổi lễ thanh tịnh và trang nghiêm. A reminder for those who have a cell phone, please make sure you have turned off your cell phone or just switched it to vibrate mode so that we keep the atmosphere of the ceremony serene. Thank you. Kính mời đại chúng cùng quỳ xuống, mở trên số 0. Trầm hương đôn sáng nhà mười phương, nguyện kinh đương niệm từ vô lượng, cầu cầu xin chứng tâm thành chúng con, vần vần khói kết mây lên cúng dường, đàn niệm mau đã lan truyền nơi cùng nơi, nhờ chân lý
thần quy kê vị dưới đại sen dân hóa thân tên kia màu thắm tươi cành đại quang minh sáng huy hòa tráng nghiêm ơn mười phương điều nữ hào quang an lành nhiên đạo uyên chuyên soi công cùng quần sanh phần đạo đồng công nhau tự tế ta mà biến thành Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Xin cho khói trầm thơm kém thành mây năm sắc dâng lên khắp mười phương cúng dường vô lượng bổn vô lượng chư Bồ Tát cùng các thánh hiện tăng nơi phạm giới dung thâm kết đài sen rừng rỡ nguyện làm kẻ đồng hành trên con đường giác ngộ sinh mọi loài chúng sanh từ bỏ cõi lạc nguyên theo đường giới định tuệ quay về trong tỉnh thức chúng con kính dâng hương lên bùn và chư vị Bồ Tát. Hôm nay đệ tử chúng có một lòng chí thành đêm trước ta bảo chí thành đảnh hương cúng dường ba nói vô thượng trì tụng kinh chú xưng tán hồng danh công đức cầu nguyện thế giới hòa bình chúng sanh an lạc. Lại trong pháp duyên này hôm nay chúng con cầu siêu cho chư vị hương linh lễ thì lòng pháp danh diệu đăng vàng văn huy pháp danh minh phát trường thì thu hương pháp danh diệu tâm vàng thì nuôi trần đặc minh Lily Rose Marie Patricia Petit dung chi dân đồng minh viện văn hành pháp danh tuệ an đức lễ hoài phương pháp danh thánh hiền bổn tổ tiên huỳnh giang lễ anh pháp danh từ hằng hiền lễ anh tuấn pháp danh thiền tú nguyện thị nhân pháp danh diệu nhàm viện thị nhung phàn thị nghĩa pháp danh nhữ nhân lễ cầm đà viện thị mùi pháp danh hoảng hương lý minh từ sâu mùi vương kim sơ vương thủ lan tiêu dương xuân phương hôi tăng kim liên nhân đoán phạm huỳnh đăng khoa pháp danh tuệ quang bình đăng lệ nhãm chân y từ nữ tất cả chương linh những nhờ tam bảo lực đồng được về đây nghe kinh siêu sanh tình độ lại nguyện cầu an cho chư Phật tử viện thì địa pháp danh thanh hồi đoàn thì thúy phương pháp danh diệu mỹ duy nồng huyền pháp danh diệu hảo vũ chu nương pháp danh viện thái đăng đồng thông huỳnh Philip pháp danh nhận tiếng khu thì muội, khu cẩm võ. Chư Phật tử thân tâm an tình, bình khổ tiêu trừ, thường được an lành xa lìa khổ ách. Những mong ngoại đức từ bi quán giác đạo tràng chứng minh gia hộ. Nam mô chứng minh sư Bồ Tát, Nam mô chứng minh sư Bồ Tát, Nam mô chứng minh sư Bồ Tát Ma Tát. Sen quý nở đà giác, nầu hào quang chiếu rạng mười phương. Trí tuệ vừa thầm pháp giới, từ bi thấm đường non sông. Vừa thấy dung nhan điều nữ trong nhà, phiền não sanh không. Hướng về tăng dưỡng công đức, tinh chuyên đạo nghĩa vun trồng. Nhưng tâm kính lệ bổn pháp, và tăng thường trụ trong mười phương. Nhưng tâm kính lệ đức bổn sư Bổn Thích Ca Mâu Ni. Nhưng tâm kính lệ liệt vị tổ sư qua các thời đại, từ Tây Trúc cho đến Việt Nam. Kính mời đại chúng mở trang số 4. Please turn to page 4. Nam mô tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Nam mô tassa to practice
Nam mô Thương Bổn Sư Bổn Thích Ca Mâu Ni Pháp Bổn Ma Cao Siêu Mâu Niệm Ma Cơ Diêm Hay Hóa Trì Sinh nguyện đi vào điện tuệ tế thông giáo nghĩa nguyện vì kinh tinh niệm ban nhà ba la mật đa bồ tát quán tự tại khi quán chiếu thuần số ban nhà ba la mật thứ diệu pháp trí độ bồng soi thấy năm uẩn điều không có tự thân tự chứng điều ấy thôi. Ngài vừa thoát tất cả mọi khổ đau ách nhà nghe đây xa lời tự sanh chẳng khác kỳ không không kỳ sám xa chính thần là không không chính thần là xác còn lại vô vô kiếp luôn điều như vậy cả xa lời tứ nghe đây đây mọi pháp điều không không sanh cũng không diệt không giới cũng không sạch không thêm cũng không bơ cho nên trong tánh không không có sáng thọ tượng cũng không có hành tượng không có nhãn nhị tỳ địa đơn ý sáu căn không có sanh thành hương vị xuống vào sáu trần không có 18 giới tự nghe đến ni tha không hề có vô mê không có vô mềm cho đến không lão tự cũng không hết lão tự không khổ tận diện đạo không trí cũng không tánh vì không có sợi đa khi một vị Bồ Tát nơi diệu pháp trí độ bạn nhà ba la mà thì tâm không chướng ngại vì tâm không chướng ngại nên không có sợ hãi xa lìa mọi mộng tưởng xa lìa mỗi điên đạo tràn niết bàn tuyệt đối chư bộ trong ba đời diệu pháp trí độ bạn nhà ba la mà nên đa vô thường giác phải nghe phải biết rằng bạn nhà một là linh chú đại thuận là linh chú đại minh là linh chú vô thường là linh chú tuyệt định là chân thiên vọng có năng lực tiêu trừ tất cả mọi khổ niệm cho nên tôi muốn thuyết cầu thần vô di độ bạn nhà ba la mở nói dòng thương Bồ Tát điều động thần chú ra ca thế ba ra sam ca thế vô đi sa ba ca thế ba ra sam ca thế vô đi sa ra sam ca thế vô đi sa.
Xin mời đại chúng cùng lắng nghe Kinh Phước Đức. Đây là những điều tôi được nghe hồi Đức Thế Tôn còn cư trú rừng Thành Xá Vệ tại tu viện cấp cô độc trong vườn Kỳ Đà. Hôm đó trời đã vào khuya, có một vị thiên giả hiện xuống thăm người. Hào quang và vẻ đẹp của thiên giả làm sáng bừng cả vườn cây. Sau khi đảnh lễ Đức Thế Tôn, vị thiên giả xin tham vấn người bằng một bài kệ. Thiên và nhân thao thức, muốn biết về phước đức để sống đời an lành, xin Thế Tôn chỉ dạy. Và sau đây là lời của Đức Thế Tôn. Lánh xa kẻ xấu ác, được thân cận người hiền, tôn kính bậc đáng kính là phước đức lớn nhất. Sống trong môi trường tốt, được tạo tác nhân lành, được đi trên đường chánh là phước đức lớn nhất. có học có nghề hay, biết hành trì giới luật, biết nói lời ái ngữ là phước đức lớn nhất. Được cung phụng mẹ cha, yêu thương gia đình mình, được hành nghề thích hợp là phước đức lớn nhất. Sống ngay thẳng bố thí, giúp quyến thuộc thăng bằng, hành xử không tì vết là phước đức lớn nhất. Chánh không làm điều ác, không sai xưa nghiện ngập, tinh cần làm việc lành là phước đức lớn nhất. Biết khiêm cung lễ độ, tri túc và biết ơn, không bỏ dịp học đạo là phước đức lớn nhất. Biết kiên trì phục thiện, thân cận giới xuất gia, giữ pháp đàm học hỏi là phước đức lớn nhất. Sống tinh cần tỉnh thức, học chân lý nhiệm màu, thực chứng được niết bàn là phước đức lớn nhất. Chung đụng trong nhân gian, tâm không hề lai chuyển, phiền não hết an nhiên là phước đức lớn nhất. Ai sống được như thế, đi đâu cũng an toàn, tới đâu cũng vững mạnh, phước đức của tự thân.
Discourse on happiness. I heard these words of the Buddha one time when the Lord was living in the vicinity of Savatthi at the Anapaditaka monastery in the Jeddah Grove. Late at night, a deva appeared whose light and beauty made the whole Jeddah Grove shine radiantly. After paying respects to the Buddha, the deva asked him a question in the form of a verse. Many gods and men are eager to know what are the greatest blessings which bring about a peaceful and happy life. Please, the Tathagata, will you teach us? This is the Buddha's answer. Not to be associated with the foolish ones, to live in the company of wise people, honoring those who are worth honoring, this is the greatest happiness. To live in a good environment, to have planted good seeds, and to realize that you are on the right path, this is the greatest happiness. To have a chance to learn and grow, to be skillful in your profession or craft, practicing the precepts and loving speech, this is the greatest happiness. To be able to serve and support your parents, to cherish your own family, to have a vocation that brings you joy, this is the greatest happiness. To live honestly, generous in giving, to offer support to relatives and friends, living a life of blameless conduct, this is the greatest happiness. To avoid unwholesome actions, not caught by alcoholism or drugs, and to be diligent in doing good things, this is the greatest happiness. To be humble and polite in manner, to be grateful and content with a simple life, not missing the occasion to learn the Dharma, this is the greatest happiness. To persevere and be open to change, to have regular contact with monks and nuns, and to fully participate in Dharma sharing, this is the greatest happiness. To live in the world with your heart undisturbed by the world, with all sorrows ended, dwelling in peace, this is the greatest happiness. For he or she who accomplishes this, unvanquished wherever she goes, always he is safe and happy. Happiness lives within oneself.
Xin mời đại chúng mở trang số 16. Please turn to page 16. Chúng con ở đường nói đây trong phút giây hiện tại bao bọc bởi tân thân thấy mình thần may mắn
sinh ra được làm người,
con sớm dầm chánh pháp hàng bồ đề tươi tầm lại có duyên được sống quả hồng trong năng lượng của tăng đoàn
che được cho thiện chiếu soi của bổn và Bồ Tát tuy có mặt trong khổ đau phiền não và tập khí nhờ chánh niệm hiện tiền vẫn thường luôn biểu hiện
giúp cho con thiện sâu với những gì
màu niệm có mà trong tự thân và có mà quanh con 600 con đầy đủ
thấy được trời
xanh tai nghe tiếng chim hót mũi người thấy hương trầm lưỡi nếm được pháp vị thế nội có vững chãi ý hợp nhớ với thầm nếu không có thế
please turn to page 22.
Nguyện nhai án lành đêm an lành nhai đêm sau thời điều an lành trong mọi giây mọi phút cầu ơn văn mật luôn che chở. Nam mô Đức Bồ Tát Tiêu Tai Nhân Kia Tường. Nam mô Đức Bồ Tát Tiêu Tai Nhân Kia Tường. Nam mô Đức Bồ Tát Tiêu Tai Gia Kia Tường. Có về nước tựa buộc mà nơi đưa đường chỉ lối cho khó cho cuộc đời. Có về nước tựa pháp mà con được của tề thương và sự hiểu biết. Có về nước tựa văn tuân thể của những người quyền sống cuộc đời tề thương. Truy tụng kinh pháp nhiều tạo công đức vô biên. Đệ tử xin hồi hướng cho chúng sanh mọi miền. Pháp môn xin nguyện hồng ơn nghĩa xin phiền não miệng đoàn qua bổn xin chân nên.
Xin mời đại chúng cùng xá chân. Please release your leg. In gratitude to our parents that gives us life and our country that keeps us safe, we bow deeply to three jewels in the 10 directions.
Đệ tử chúng con nhớ cha mẹ sanh thành quân dân bảo hồn. Cúi đầu kính lễ tam bảo thờ trụ trong mười phương.
In gratitude to our teachers and friends that support us on the path, we bow deeply to the three jewels in the 10 directions.
Đệ tử chúng con nhớ sư trưởng giáo huấn liệt vị tinh thí đàn nam. Cúi đầu kính lễ tam bảo thường trụ trong mười phương.
In gratitude to all the plants, animals, and mineral world, we bow deeply to the three jewels in the 10 directions.
Đệ tử chúng con nhớ mỗi loài chúng sanh cây cỏ đất đam. Cúi đầu kính lễ tam bảo thường trụ trong mười phương.
là chúng cùng an toàn. Please be seated. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Con kính bạch trên chư tôn đức tăng ni và toàn thể đại chúng. Trước khi cúng linh thì xin đại chúng cùng hoan hỷ cùng đòi lại vài phút để con xin chia sẻ bằng tiếng Anh. Và con cũng xin phép thông báo là lịch trình sinh hoạt tại Trúc Lâm Tây Thiên năm 2024 đã đăng lên Facebook trên trang Trúc Lâm và Tây Thiên Canada. Xin quý vị hoan hỷ xem để có thể theo dõi những chương trình tại đây. Và xung quanh chùa cũng đã dán trên tường hay là cửa, quý vị có thể chụp hình lại. Và chỉ còn vòng khoảng 1 tháng nữa chúng ta sẽ bắt đầu đón Tết. Xin quý vị cũng hoan hỷ xem lại chương trình Tết năm nay. Di Đà Phật. So I just had a couple of announcements that we have the schedule for the year 2024 on our Facebook page, Trúc Lâm and Tây Thiên Canada. So you can follow along to know what activities are upcoming in the following year. In about 1 month, we will have New Year's celebration, so you can also follow the schedule online as well. It's printed on the doors around the monastery. You can take a picture of it as well. Xin đại chúng cùng chắp tay niệm Phật. Nam mô Bồ Ma Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Dear Thai, dear community, today is January the 6th, I believe, of the year 2024, and we're here at the Trúc Lâm Monastery during our weekly Sunday session. First off, we'd like to, on behalf of the monastics, say Happy New Year to the first Sunday of our Sunday daily schedule at the monastery. So Happy New Year to all of you. And on behalf of Thai and monastic brothers, as well as to wish you a happy and prosperous New Year. Thai always shares that there's a word in Vietnamese that means depending on conditions. But in order to have, let's say, a happy year or a prosperous year, you can't just say it and not do anything about it. It needs conditions, it needs effort, diligence, in order for you to meet those expectations of the new year. I remember that when I was in university, I had to take an entry-level physics course, and it was in my final year of graduating. And I held it off until my final year because I didn't like physics, and I hated physics with a passion. But I knew I had to take this course because if I don't take this course, then I wouldn't be able to graduate. And I remember taking physics in high school, grade 12, and I failed. I failed physics. And so to tell me to take another physics course in university was quite daunting for me back then. And I remember that when I was sitting there in my first class, looking at the syllabus of the class, I was a little bit scared that I wouldn't be able to pass and then I wouldn't be able to graduate. But because you could say that, oh, just try your best. You could say that, but then you have to have effort. You have to have diligence. So I remember when I was, even though I was taking higher level psych courses, I had this physics just in the middle of all my psychology courses, and I remember I struggled a lot at the beginning, but I knew that if I took the time to understand the concepts, the equations, then I knew that even though I did pass with an average, I knew that if you took some effort, then you can pass that course. So when we say Happy New Year, we would like to, or a prosperous and happy year, then we try our best to really take an effort to do so. So today I'd like to recap a couple things in the last week of December, but also into January. So in the past week of December, we had a Christmas celebration, and we had about 50 people gather at the Westlock Meditation Center. And the 50 people includes the monastics here, but also guests from America. Some of them have came early to attend our adult and youth retreat. So, and also I think some of them maybe do not celebrate Christmas at home, so maybe they come here. I know that some of the monastic brothers from Vietnam, they came here early, so just they could celebrate Christmas with us. With our Christmas celebration, we sat together in a circle, and we all, some of us cooked some dishes, others bought takeout from restaurants, and we all sat together in the Lotus Hall, sitting silently and enjoying our meal together. So it was one of our biggest Christmas at our Westlock, and we had a good time to be together. And I remember I had to share a few words, and I shared that in the upcoming year, we try our best to let go of any struggles or any difficulties we may have with someone. And when we step into the new year, we try to look at our difficult situations or different relationships in a different light. And afterwards, after dinner, we had a Secret Santa. So the brothers here, we usually pick our names and we usually buy a gift for each other. And then we opened it on the same day. On Christmas Day, Boxing Day, I was pretty much at the airport from the morning till night because those 2 days were the days where people were coming for the retreat, for the adult retreat and for the youth retreat. So the 25th, Christmas Day, and 26th was Boxing Day. Was the two arrival days, the most arrivals coming from America. We have a couple from Germany, and we had about 150 adults and about 100 young people come for the retreat. So the youth retreat and the adult retreat were parallel to each other, so they were occurring at the same time. The only activities that were together with the adults and the youth were the meals. The adults usually had chanting or talks, whereas the youth had talks as well, but they were spoken in English by Tai and the fellow monastics. And it was 4 days of practice from the 26th to the 30th. And on the last day, usually we would organize a day to go out, our field trip day. Sometimes, well, not in the winter, but in the summer, we would organize a day to go to the beach. When I say beach, I mean like a lake here in Alberta. In this past winter, we went to a recreation center. So we bought skates, some skates and some helmets. So we had a chance to enjoy skating, and also some played basketball and other activities. So in the youth retreat, I remember driving one of the kids, and one of them was about 12 years old. And I was driving him back from Westlock to Trúc Lâm because he'll be leaving to the airport the next day. I remember asking him, did you enjoy the retreat? And he told me that he didn't know, when he came here, he didn't know what a retreat was. He wasn't sure where he was going and what he was doing. But after the retreat, I asked him, so what did you enjoy the most? And he said that he enjoyed walking meditation. A 12-year-old boy, he said walking meditation. I don't know if any of adults would even say that. A 12-year-old boy said that he would practice walking meditation. And when I heard that, it was almost like a mindfulness spell, because at such a young age, he was able to understand some of the concepts. And he said that he just enjoyed walking in silence, walking slowly, because he used to, I guess he's probably used to walking normally, but he never had a chance to really enjoy his steps and being with nature. So when I heard that, it kind of watered that aspiration in the fellow monastics. We always try to bring the practice to young people. The adults sitting here, they have Tai to share the teachings, but the next generation is what we're a little bit worried about. We're worried about what happens to this generation of people who follow Tai, and then eventually they will pass. And then what is the next generation? And so I think in all of our monastic brothers, we always think about what we can do to offer to our young generation. Because the next generation, in my understanding and my opinion, I guess, is quite troublesome. I think there's so much things that are going around in the world, problems, war, and especially during our Dharma sharing time. In our sutra, we just listened to the discourse on happiness, and it talked about how fully participating in Dharma sharing group. So if you don't know what Dharma sharing group is, it's a time for us to, we're grouped into our age groups. So usually if you're 18 and older, you're in a group. 17 to 18 is another group. And we're all grouped together by age. And I had the responsibility to take care or facilitate the 18 and above. And some of the common themes was about mental health, about struggles within our own home, because Dharma sharing time, I think, is the most important time during the retreat, because it's a time for us to actually share our suffering and our problems. Because usually, normally, maybe if you're with your friends, you don't really talk about these topics. But when you go to a retreat, And when you facilitate a Dharma sharing group, it almost sounds like an AA group, but it's more like a Dharma sharing group. So when we sit together and we talk about our problems, we can, especially the young people, when they talk about their problems, a lot of other young people also resonate with their sharing. So some of the sharings was about mental health, about struggles within their own home, about relationships, attachment, etc. So during Dharma sharing time, it was a good time for us to share our problems and also to facilitate discussion on certain topics that we would normally not talk about. So that was the youth retreat. During the adult retreat, we had about 150 people come from the States, like I shared earlier, from California, Florida. We have a couple from Germany come, and we practiced after the youth retreat. The adult retreat was still going on until the 1st of January. And sometimes I look back at the adult retreats or any retreats, and we're a very, what's called a very well-tuned machine. Everyone has their roles, their responsibilities, and we do it with our love. We do it with our own passion, and in order to have everything work out, especially a retreat as big as ours, then it takes a lot of understanding and communication with many other different groups, from transportation to registration to cooking to guest master, everything. All of these different roles have to go in place, and in order for things to run smoothly. During our retreats, we always have this one particular layman who always comes here to just cook for the retreats. He's from California, but then he would fly to, he usually resides in Vietnam. And from Vietnam, he would just fly here for the retreat, cook for 2 weeks or so, and then go back to Vietnam. And he would do that for every retreat. From summer retreat is a little bit longer, so stay a little bit longer. But we can see that everyone dedicates their time and effort to have a successful retreat. So the Zen master always shares about how we're like cells in a body. All the cells in our body have to work together in order for the body to work well. And each of the teams during the retreat have to work together, have to be in harmony together in order for the retreat to be successful. So with on the 31st, which is the New Year's Eve, at 11:30, we had a sitting meditation to receive to the new year. Now, usually people like to go to parties, like to see the fireworks for the new year, but we're a little bit different, and we usually sit in silence. We would sit in meditation from 11:30 until it's midnight, until the new year. And we do this in order to, to manifest that peace and the happiness within that moment for the new year. And at that night, we also offered, we each had a little candle, or like a lotus and a light, and we would light that candle to offer that peace to others who are suffering. So we would do silent walking meditation outside. If you're at Westlock, you know that there's a big Kuan Yin or Avalokiteshvara statue, and we offered the light to Wangam. So I share this recap, and sometimes I know that we have a lot of activities here. We have retreats, we have many different activities. And I noticed that most of the attendees are people who are actually not from here. And sometimes I think that we sometimes take things for granted. A lot of people from afar come here, all the way from France, Germany, Vietnam, and they come here to practice with us. I remember being at the airport one time, and I'm responsible for when people come to the airport. I organize trips for them, so I have to stay at the airport and make sure everyone is where they are so they don't get lost and safe. And I remember bringing some people out to the vehicles, and there was one person going to the airport to fly out. And I thought it was kind of funny because I asked, "Where are you going?" And I think she had said that she's going to the Caribbean or somewhere nice and warm. And I was bringing people who are from Florida, from California, some really nice places, and they come here to attend our retreat out in Westlock, in the middle of nowhere. And I think we have to, what we have today, especially our retreats, is usually 70 to 80% out of town. So I share this because sometimes we have things that are next to us, maybe even 15, 20 minutes away, but we don't have the chance to attend a retreat or activities here, whereas many people who spend a lot of money to come here and attend. So I think just life is just so funny that way. So retreat. Sometimes we talk about the summer retreat, the fall retreat, many different retreats. And what do we do during these retreats? Basically, we come to a retreat to stay at one location, and we live comparable to like a monastic. We would stay at the monastery, practice waking up in the morning early for chanting, for sitting meditation, for talks. From morning to evening, there's activities throughout the day. A retreat is kind of a personal exploration or adventure to learn more about Buddhism. But ultimately, it's all about exploration of yourself, of how you feel at a retreat and what you want to transform. Some people come to retreats for many different reasons. Some people come to learn about Buddhism, to learn more about themselves. Maybe some come to be close to Thai, to the monks, monastics. Thai travels to many different places, especially the US. US has a lot of monasteries, a lot of communities, but they don't have a lot of monks to lead. Sometimes Thai, just like today, Thai is in Chicago to lead a retreat talks in Chicago. And sometimes lay people, because there's so many people, they don't have a chance to be close to Thai, so sometimes they come here and attend a retreat, and they're able to get close to the monastics here. Some come to retreats to work, to volunteer their time, and to help. Some of them don't really attend the activities, the scheduled activities, but some of them wake up earlier. They wake up earlier so they could cook. They they go to sleep quite late because they're already thinking about the next meal, the next day. So some of them come to volunteer their time and to help the retreat, support the retreat. Some try to get away from their busy work schedule and come to have some quietness, some peace, so that's why they attend retreats. And there are some who are not actually there physically at the retreat, but they offer support through finance, through printing sutras, books for the retreat to chant, to support the retreat. So again, many people come to retreats for many different reasons. Another reason is people come for the sense of community. Some live by themselves, some live in a place where they don't have a temple. They live in the middle of nowhere maybe, and they come here to have that sense of community. Some come here to learn what it's like to live in a temple. And some, even during the summer retreat, it waters their bodhicitta. So bodhicitta, the Buddha, the awakening mind. And some of them even vow to become monastics afterwards. And another reason is to come, this is similar to visiting Thai, but also to show our respect to Thai and the community, to the temple. So respecting our teacher. Whereas the teacher in school or a spiritual teacher, I think is a little bit different in that a spiritual teacher in Buddhism must have these 10 qualities. So I want to share a little bit about them. First quality of a teacher is a teacher that is endowed with discipline. The teacher is gentle. Some teachers are quite kind and quite loving in their teaching. Some of us may respond better to teachers who are more direct and more honest. So a teacher who is disciplined, who is gentle. The second quality is a teacher who has concentration and who is at peace. A teacher that wherever that teacher goes radiates peace around them. If you're a teacher who is always angry, who has this hot temper, then that is not a great quality of a teacher. The third quality of a teacher is a teacher endowed with wisdom and who have thoroughly pacified their afflictions. So transforming their afflictions, their suffering. It's a person that you come to for help. Maybe this is a teacher who has already overcome some suffering, and you can come for advice, for consultations, etc. The fourth is possessing qualities that surpasses all others. So this means that in the world there's doctors, but there is the A+ doctors, but there's also the C- doctors. So in the same spirit as teachers, there's also really great teachers, A+ teachers, and then there's really average teachers. So in that spirit, we know that there's teachers who we can learn from, where we're more connected to, whereas other teachers we might not connect as much. The fifth quality of a teacher is free of laziness, and when it comes to benefiting others, they're always diligent. So using my teacher as an example, my teacher travels a lot. He flies from one place to another, and when he comes here, he's already working. He's already started working for the next day. Even if it's an hour after there's a Dharma talk, he would be flying through here maybe at 5, arriving at 5, and there's a talk at 6, he would be here and give a Dharma talk. For us, we get tired. We may get, because we're not used to flying, we have a lot of, I wouldn't say excuses, but we have a lot of reasons to rest. We want to rest for a couple of days and then we're back to ourself. But Thai always is constantly working. The sixth quality is to study extensively, and they are rich in terms of sutras and scriptures. So this is related to wisdom. In order to teach, you have to have some knowledge of Buddhism, obviously. You have to look back, you have to do some research, just like when you're in school, you're doing some kind of research paper, a thesis, you have to take some time in your life to do some research and to understand the concepts in order to write that paper or to give a presentation. So in the same spirit, a teacher must have some time to study the Buddhist sutras. The seventh is knowing the true nature of which is to be known, and they realize with respect to reality. So this is kind of saying that a great teacher, must be flexible, must be accepting of change. We cannot be quite rigid in our thinking. One of the things that we discussed during Dharma sharing was that parents, they put down a lot of expectations on their children. And when I see that, I know that's normal because maybe the parents have endured a lot of suffering. They have done a lot, and they just want their children to succeed. But if you look at the perspective of the young people, sometimes they cannot meet those expectations. The Asian parents want their children to become doctors, engineers, and that's it, or lawyers, nothing else. But you have to understand that there's a lot more professions than that. You have to understand that young people have their own path. The parents may try to shape their path, but at the end, it's what the young people strive and what their ambitions are. The eighth quality of a great teacher is they're eloquent and they're skilled in teaching. Some teachers teach down to earth. They're able to resonate with many people. Some teach the sutras that are quite a little bit up there for us, and that's okay because there's some people who are more inclined to those teachings. So, but whether you're teaching down to earth or something else, you're skilled in sharing, in integrating those concepts into to your teachings, and you're able to share that eloquently. The ninth quality of a great teacher is they're loving in nature and they're not influenced by material wealth. So anything that is donated to the monastery is essentially, when you donate something, essentially it's coming back to you. You're supporting this monastery through financial means. This place is yours. This place is here for all of us. It's not just one person that keeps this temple. The monastics are here temporarily just to keep this place running and clean and not falling apart. But all of us have a part in supporting this monastery. The 10th quality is they have relinquished weariness with regard to teaching the Dharma. So they're never tired in pursuit of the teachings. So this is similar to one of the other qualities, and they're always steadfast in sharing the teachings. Maybe sometimes we get invited to go to meals or dinners with lay people, and I noticed that Thai always takes that opportunity to share the teachings. Or if it's just a simple meal together, Thai will always say, read the 5 contemplations before eating. Because people's time is quite limited. So if they're able to come to a monastery for just an hour, we have to try our best to share those teachings within that hour. Anything, even if it's just something quite basic like putting your hands together like a lotus and bowing to each other. So every opportunity is a chance for us to share the teachings of the Dharma. So those are the 10 qualities that I'd like to share today, and also a little recap on what is occurring here at the monastery. Thank you again for listening, and we will finish with our closing verse, with sharing the merit. Xin mời đại chúng cùng hồi hướng. Nguyện đem công đức này hướng về tất cả đệ tử và chúng sanh liễu trở thành Phật đạo. Kính mời đại chúng cùng xá chân trước khi cúng lên. Please release your legs before we do ancestral offering.